Hare Krishna Mataji.
Haribol, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Gauritai Bhagwan Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Gopijanavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari
Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari
Yashodanandana Vraja Janaran
Yashodanandana Vrajanaranjana
Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana
Yashodanandana
Vrajanaranjana
Yashodanandana Jajanaranjana Yashodanandana
Nandana
Jajanaranjana
Vrajanaranjana
Yamunatira Vanacha
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanacha
Yamuna
Tira
Tira
Vanacha
Vanachari
Radha Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare Rama
Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama
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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Hare Rama,
Rama, Rama
Rama
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
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 Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Ram Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare Rama, Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare, Hare Ram,
Rama
Ram Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama, Rama
Hare.
Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Gauranithai, 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 Jaya Gauranithai, Jaya Gauranithai,
Gaurani
Gauranithai,
Gaurani Jaya Gaurani
Jaya 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 Prabhupada, Jaya 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 Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Gara Hari Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol
Hari Om Jai Gaura Hari Om.
Gautmanande Hari Hari Bol Namo Vishwatma Jagdishaya Ashtottar Siddha. His divine grace of Chavinda Bhaktivan Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON founder Acharya, beauty founder Acharya, Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री रहित गदाधर श्रीवासदि श्री गौड़ भक्तवृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गो गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय श्री श्री वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय श्री श्री मायापुर धाम की जय गंगा माई जमुना माई की जय भक्ति देवी महारानी की जय उपस्थित समेत गौर भक्तवृंद की जय निथाय गौर प्रेम हरि हरि बोल all glorious to assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glorious to assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glorious to assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glorious Shri Guru and Gauranga all glorious Shri Prabhupada ki jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om
Hare Krishna everyone. Welcome to the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class today. So today, 14th of April, on the auspicious occasion of Bharatini Ekadashi. Actually, Ekadashi was yesterday, but we are fasting on the Dadashi today. We are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 4, the creation of the fourth order, chapter 31. Narada instructs the Prachetas, verse number 8. Maitreya Uvacha
Maitreya Uvacha
Iti pracheta samprishto.
Iti pracheta sampristo.
Iti pracheta samprishto.
Iti pracheta sampristo.
Bhagavan Narada Munihi.
Bhagavan Narado Munihi.
Bhagavan Narada Munihi.
Bhagavan Narado Munihi.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloka.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloka.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloka.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloka.
Avistatma Bravinripan.
Avishtamā Bravinvipan,
Avistatma Bravinripan.
Avishtatma Bravinvipan,
Maitreya Uvacha.
Maitra Uvacha,
Iti Pracheta Samprishto.
Iti Pacheta Samprishto,
Bhagavan Narado Munihi.
Bhagavan Narado Muni,
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke,
Avistatma Bravinripan.
Avishtatma Bravinvipan,
Maitreya Uvacha.
Maitra Uvacha,
Iti Pracheta Samprishto.
Iti Pracheta Samprishto,
Bhagavan Narado Munihi.
Bhagavan Narado Muni,
Bhagavati Uttama Shloka.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloka,
Avistatma Bravinripan.
Avishtatma Bravinripan.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Maitra Uvacha,
Maitreya Uvacha.
Iti Pracheta Samprishto,
Iti Pracheta
Prachetasaṁ
Samprishto.
Prishto
Bhagavan Narado Muni,
Bhagavan
Bhagavan
Narado
Narado Munihi.
Munihi
Bhagavati Uttama Shloka,
Bhagavati
Bhagavati
Uttama
Uttama
Shloka
Shloka.
Avishtamatma Bravinripan,
Avishthatma
Avistatma Bravinripan.
Pravinrapan Maitreya Uvacha
Maitreya
Maitra
Uvacha.
Uvacha,
Iti Prachetasaṁ Prishto
Iti
Iti
Pracheta
Pracheta Samprishto.
Samprishto,
Bhagavan Narado Munihi
Bhagavan
Bhagavan
Narado
Narado
Munihi.
Muni,
Bhagavati Uttama Shloka
Bhagavati
Bhagavati Uttama
Uttama Shloka,
Shloka.
Avishthatma Bravinripan
Avishtatma
Avistatma
Bravinripan,
Bravinripan.
Maitreya Uvacha.
Maitra
Maitreya Uvacha.
Uvacha,
Iti pracheta sampristo.
Iti
Iti
Pracheta
Pracheta
Samprishto
Samprishto.
Samprishto,
Bhagavan Narado Munihi.
Bhagavan
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 Narado
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 Munihi.
Munihi
Muni,
Bhagavati Uttama Shloka.
Bhagavati
Bhagavati
Uttama
Uttama
Shloka
Shloka,
Istatma Pravinirpan.
Avishtatma
Avistatma
Avishthatma
Bravinripan.
Bravinripan
Pravinripan.
Anyone else? Okay, we go to word by word meaning. Maitreya Uvacha.
Maitra
Maitreya Uvacha
Uvacha,
Maitreya said,
Maitreya
Maitra
said
said,
Iti,
Iti
Iti,
thus,
Tas
thus,
Pracheta Sam,
Prachetasam
Prachetasan,
by the Prachetas,
by the
by the
Prachetas
Prachetas,
Prishtaha,
Prishtaha,
Prishtaha
being asked,
being
being
asked
asked,
Bhagavan,
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 the great devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
the
the
great devotee
great
of the
devotee of
Supreme
the Supreme
Personality of
Personality of
Godhead,
Godhead,
Naradaha,
Naradaha,
Narada,
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 Munihi,
Munihi,
very thoughtful,
very thoughtful,
Bhagavati,
Bhagavati,
in the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
in the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
Uttama Shloke,
Uttama Shloke,
possessing excellent renown,
possessing excellent renown,
Avishta,
Avishta,
absorbed,
absorbed,
Atma,
Atma,
whose mind,
whose mind,
Avravit,
Abravit,
replied,
replied,
Ripan,
Nripan,
to the kings.
to the kings.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jagatguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Translation, we read together. The great sage Maitreya continued,
The great sage Maitreya continued,
My dear Vidura,
My dear Vidura,
being thus petitioned by the Prachetas,
being thus petitioned by the Prachetas,
the supreme devotee Narada,
the supreme devotee Narada,
who is always absorbed
who is always absorbed
in the thoughts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
began to reply.
began to reply.
The Bhaktivedanta purport. In this verse, Bhagavan Narada indicates that Narada is always absorbed in thoughts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Avistatma. Narada has no other business than thinking of Krishna, talking of Krishna, and preaching about Krishna. Therefore, he is sometimes called Bhagavan. Bhagavan means one who possesses all the opulences. When a person possesses Bhagavan within his heart, he is also sometimes called Bhagavan. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said, Shakshadhari Tvena Samasta Shastre. In every Shastra, the spiritual master is accepted directly as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This does not mean that the spiritual master or a saintly person like Narada has actually become the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But he is accepted in this way because he possesses the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart constantly. As described here, Avistatma, when one is simply absorbed in the thought of Krishna, one is also called Bhagavan. Bhagavan possesses all opulence. If one possesses Bhagavan within his heart always, does he not automatically possesses all the opulences also? In that sense, a great devotee like Narada can be called Bhagavan. However, we cannot tolerate when a rascal or impostor is called Bhagavan. One must possess either all opulences or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan, who possesses all opulences. Om Ajnanativandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumitham Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manohishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shivta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsa Tirupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghuratam Tam Tam Sajeevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parigana Chaitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lita Shri Vishakanitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwabhanu Sute Dehi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Vaivacha Patidhanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Shri Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Prabhupada Bhakta Jivanam Kavibhiriritam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Bhūti Vibhurivajanam Bhuvi Vimnati Vibhurivajanam Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So, in this beautiful verse from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, from Canto 4, Chapter 31, verse number 8, spoken by Maitreya Rishi to Vidura. We are now brought into a very intimate and powerful moment in devotional, like, you know, as you say, like, you know, this is a part of our history, because as we see that this setting is very significant. The prachetas, they are the sincere seekers and also king. They are the true example of Rajarshi. They have now, after being instructed by Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, and other exalted personalities, now they have approached Narada Muni with genuine inquiry. And then we'll see, like, today is the, as we said, like, you know, they have asked the question, and now Narada Muni is about to give the response. And the response which follows is just not intellectual, it's very spiritual. So that's why this verse highlights a very crucial point. Who is qualified to speak transcendental knowledge? From whom we can seek this knowledge? Not merely one who is only learned or, like, you know, have good memory of, like, you know, remembering verses. No. The qualification which has been given here, which is very important for anyone to understand first and then proceed to find someone who is Avistatma. Avistatma, it's very important to remember. This is one of the main highlights from this verse. What is meant by Avistatma is one who is completely absorbed in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this Avistatma is the heart of this verse, right? It doesn't simply mean that Narada remembers Krishna occasionally, or, like, you know, in the event, during the time of events, or maybe only on Saturdays. No. It means his consciousness is fully entered into, and, like, fully into the thinking of the Lord. in such a way that it is inseparable, you know. So a very famous example that Srila Prabhupada mentioned multiple times, that when a piece of iron becomes, like, we put it in placed in a fire, then it becomes fiery. Like we can see that the color starts to change to red, glowing red, and then that iron is actually acts like fire. Similarly, when a devotee, like an exalted devotee like Narada Muni, being constantly absorbed in thinking of Krishna, like, he is speaking about Krishna, preaching about Krishna. But also, it's important to understand it's not merely from mental speculation. It's not that, okay, I'm just trying to think anything, like in any, I'm just trying to think a form of Krishna, and then I try to dance like Krishna. No, no, no. It's not from mental speculation, but from realization. And that realization also comes from knowledge received from bona fide source. So Narada Muni received the knowledge from Brahma. So he received the knowledge from the bona fide source, and then from that realization, when he received this knowledge, and from that realization, he is constantly absorbed in the thinking of Krishna. Therefore, this word, this avistatma, is a very important one, because this word is not only informative, like, and it's not for image. This word is transformative. When something like this happens, then transformation happens. And to be honest, all of us here is looking for that transformation. We are practicing devotees because we are praying. We are praying to the Lord. We are praying to the sincere devotees. We are praying to our gurus, Gauranga, Shastra, through everything, that transformation happens. So that's why this verse shows us that how that transformation, like in what path, if we proceed, that transformation will happen. So first thing, that we have to seek shelter of someone who is avistatma, you know. So Bhagavatam, and that's why Bhagavatam, being the Amala Puran, gives this example, like, whom we can consider as avistatma. And Narada Muni here has been recognized as avistatma. And actually, we see this quality in Narada Muni's life, like, time after again, like, again and again, Narada Muni has shown this. Like, say for example, if we take the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj, right? Dhruva Maharaj was just merely a small boy. Like, he was very deeply hurt. He was sad. He was angry. Like, that how come his father neglected him, his, like, the behavior of his stepmother. It's very painful when someone behave in that way, in a very harsh way, when you are not at fault, and you get, like, treated like that. It's very painful. It just tears up the heart, you know. So Dhruva Maharaj was in that kind of condition. But at that point of time, his situation was, he wants to gain this kingdom to show his father and the stepmother that he also have lots of potency. So his motivation was not pure devotion. It was mixed with, like, kind of what you can say, is material desire, that he wants to show, so then he can show off his power. But then when Narada Muni met him, you know, um, Narada Muni was just doing his, like, he was moving and he was doing his chanting. He could have, like, he could say, oh, this person is in that kind of mood. If I try to engage with this person, like, I might get disturbed. I will kind of, let me just go away. No, he didn't. He did not reject him, because Narada Muni is Abhistatma. he knows how to connect anyone to Krishna, and how to connect anyone to Krishna from whatever position they are in. From when we are trying to preach, do various activities in preaching. These are such big challenge, that bringing someone to connect to Krishna and from whatever position they are in. Now, but for Narada Muni, because he is Avisatma, for him, he showed us by example how that can be done. He first kind of tested Dhruva Maharaj, right? That, well, so why this is happening? Well, even like little bit teased him. But then compassionately, he guided him and gave him this mantra, that the famous mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, the mantra that we chant before Bhagavatam class every day. And what happened after that? The transformation happens. So that's why this is a transformation. This is not only information. This information transformed. Dhruva Maharaj heard, got transformed. He began with an ambition that, okay, I have to get all this material position, but then he ended up with devotion. He said, okay, I'm going to give up all these things. So this is the power of the realized soul. Realized soul just simply don't give instruction. They awaken the transformation. So that's why it's always highly advisable, whenever we get a chance to meet with exalted personalities, wherever sannyasis visit, many devotees, they approach and say that, oh, can we please get 5 minutes? Can we please get 5 minutes? Why is that? It's because that they have that, because they have their realized soul. They have that potency that through their instruction, our life can get transformed. Obviously, it also depends our own sincerity, and how we take that instruction and apply. All those things apply. But even sometimes sitting 5 minutes with them, it feels different. And that's how important it is that to understand that whom we should approach. So that is, and the power of the Avistatma. So we see the similar example, similar pastime with Parikshit Maharaj. From not Parikshit Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj. Before Prahlad Maharaj was born, Narada Muni, it was there, instructed Prahlad Maharaj mother that please, you should listen to Harikatha. And so while Prahlad's mother was listening to all this Harikatha from Narada, Narada Muni's his association was so potent that the devotee inside the womb became a pure devotee. Even in our devotee community, we see that it has been advised that when mothers, they are early pregnancy, to listen to Harikatha as much as possible. It has so much potency. Listen to Harikatha, listen to Kirtan, basically keep the their consciousness as much as absorbed in Krishna. So because if that happened, then what? Then whoever comes, they like Prahlad Maharaj, how he stood fearless in front of his demoniac father, right? And he was like, nobody in the three world had that courage to stand in front of Hiranyakashipu. But he stood in front of his demoniac father. He was completely fixed in Krishna consciousness. So where that strength came from? That strength came from the knowledge that he received from a Avistatma. This shows again the real spiritual influence is not superficial. It's not super. It has to be. It penetrates very deeply. It penetrates very deeply, even beyond any external circumstances. So, that's why Narada Muni is that he's as we say that lava matra sadhu sangha sarva shastra koi, even a fraction of a second of association of a sadhu sangha. And then we see that example of Valmiki, he became a sage. Valmiki was a robber, and he was killing people. Narada approached him, but he didn't condemn him. It's very interesting how that whole thing happened. He actually just went to Valmiki. I'm sure all of you have heard it. And he just asked a very simple question, but the question was like very profound, that will your family share the karma or the reaction of your sinful activities? Very simple question. And then he said, yes, why not? I'm doing all these things for them. They will share. They will share this reaction. Then other one said, please check. And he checked. None of his family member wanted to take that reaction. And then again, it pierced his heart. He's like, what? I am doing all these things and you are not going to even help me? And he becomes really morose and sad. Then again, Narada Muni instructed him that this is not the way of life. You chant the holy name. And he was so degraded. He was so fallen. His consciousness was so in that state that he couldn't even consider to chant the name of the Lord. Ram, Ram, no. And Narada Muni instructed him, okay, you chanted the name on the reverse, Mara. Ram on the reverse becomes Mara. Mara, 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 Ram, 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 Ram. So it transformed to Ram. So that's why it's very important. It's when a exalted personality, who is always absorbed in the thought of the Lord, Krishna always helped them that how to connect the others with Krishna from whatever position. Krishna gives that intelligence, dadami buddhi yogena tab, for them to bring others to this platform. So that's why you see that Valmiki became a great saint, like from a robber become great saint, and then author of Ramayana. And then again, this is again proves the point, the effect of association. Someone who is fully absorbed in Krishna. So that's why these examples, help us understand why Narada Muni has been addressed here as Bhagavan. Like when I first read that verse, I was thinking, is it Bhagavan and Narada? It is mentioned like, okay, Krishna and Narada. No, here he has been addressed as Bhagavan. Normally, we reserve the word Bhagavan for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? For Krishna. But here, Narada is addressed because he carries Bhagavan within his heart. And Prabhupada's, Prabhupada is pure magic. He just the way that he explained just makes sense. He said very simply, he put it in the purport that Bhagavan means who has all the opulences, right? All the 6 opulences. Now, if someone carries Bhagavan within their heart and always 24/7 connected with him, that means they already have all the opulences anyway. So that means that A equals to B, B equals to C. So A equals to C. Simple. What is the difficulty in understanding it? But again, we have to be cautious to understand that it needs to be understood correctly. That doesn't mean that that person became Bhagavan. It means that he became a transparent medium. So when that happened, then whatever the knowledge received from the Lord or from the bona fide source, that will come and that will flow to others without any contamination. So it becomes like a transparent medium. So like just like a mirror, when we look at a mirror, we see that our reflection, right? We see in the mirror the reflection of the sun, but the mirror doesn't become the sun; it just reflects the sun. So that's how a pure devotee reflects the qualities and the presence of the Lord. And this is supported by the principle that every morning that we sing for our spiritual master, Sakshadhari Tvena Shamasta Shastre Yuktastatha Bhavyata Eva Sabhi. Means that the spiritual master is honored as God, as the Lord is honored as God because he carries no personal agenda. But it doesn't mean that he became the God. No, he is honored as the God. This, so that's why the importance of spiritual master in our life. So that's why it's very important that it's also important for us to understand and a very practical reflection that what qualifies someone to guide others spiritually. And that Prabhupada mentioned very in a very stern words that in the purport that in today's world we can see many claiming the authority, many presenting the knowledge in a way that okay, this is the benchmark. But this verse tells us that gives us that understanding of what we need to understand that the clear benchmark is absorption of Krishna. Narada Muni has no other ulterior motive. There is no other things. Narada Muni's only business is to think about the Lord, preach about the Lord, glorify the Lord. No distraction, no other any other thing that he wants to gain from it. And this is so that's why from here the purity comes, and that is the authenticity. When someone becomes avistatma, people can very easily can connect with them. We see that the like all the exalted sannyasis that we have, they come here probably for 2 days, 3 days, because they are so busy, they have to go to different. When someone becomes sannyasi, they become parivrajak. They have to visit. If they can't stay in one place, they have to go different places and basically preach the message of the Lord. So they are here for 2-3 days or something. But we see that how nicely we can connect with them when they are giving Krishna, when we are hearing Krishna Katha from them. It's become so easy to understand because they became the transparent medium, and through that the purity comes, and that purity connects with thousands and thousands of devotees. So that's why the how the role of Narada is very important. So we also have to understand that the Pracheta's role is also very significant. So where we can we can find someone who is Avistatma, but then we have to be the other side that also needs to be taking the inspiration from Prachetas. Prachetas, they are not just simply they're just not listening. They are here. The word which is mentioned, Prishtaha, Prishta. That means they are sincerely inquiring. And as we see, what is the role of a sincere disciple? Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshantite jnanam jnanas tattadarshinaha. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. So, someone sincerely seeking that knowledge from the spiritual master. Spiritual knowledge flows where there is humility, where there is eagerness to hear. As Dhruva Maharaj approached the approach with that intensity, Prahlad received with innocence, and and Valmiki, he transformed through sincerity. The common thread here is openness to guidance. Someone, and this openness will come, the more the open someone become, the less the false ego is. Because the more the false ego, it will not let us to open for guidance from someone, because then I will think I know everything. Why I have to go to that person and ask for that? You know. So this openness to guidance, that is a common thread in all these three pastimes that we went through today for Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, and Valmiki Muni. So it's very essential. It's not only the avistatma, it's only not only the speaker, but the listeners also. The dynamic is essential. A realized speaker and a sincere listener. And when they come together, transformation happens. You know, we see Sukadev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. This is realized speaker, sincere listener came. From them, we receive this knowledge of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is acting as a sun in this dark age of Kali Yuga. So now, as we come to know about from this verse that about we like something that we come to know about the Avishtatma, to realize them it takes life after life. But anyway, at least it's the start about the Avishtatma and also the sincere listener, like the Prachetas. Now let us try to also think that how it can be applied in our own practice. How we can, it can come to our mind, like how we can become even a little Avishtatma, you know. And again, that's why we are very, very indebted to Srila Prabhupada. We don't have to go reinvent the wheel. Srila Prabhupada has given us everything. The process is simple. Constant engagement. When someone comes to ISKCON, Prabhupada said, he put all these processes there. Like you do the morning program, and then, depending, if someone is a grihastha, then you go through your work life, and then again come back, and then again you go through the evening program. It's in a way that our consciousness gets engaged into Krishna, like basically hearing about Krishna, chanting about Krishna, serving Krishna, and associating with devotees. These all, the more and more we try to do, the more and more we uh, try to bring more intensity. It's for a devotee, practicing devotee, one of the things that for progressing in spiritual life is to increasing the intensity. That to think that, okay, what I'm doing, what I can do even better. But again, we have to be cautious there. In the name of intensity, we shouldn't disrupt the things that we are already doing in a nice way. Sometimes what happened that, well, okay, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this, let's do that. Yes, it's a nice way of like showing that to Krishna that yes, I'm very eager. But at the same time also, it's also important that to understand and realize that um, it's not a race. We are not doing any race with anyone. That okay, if I'm doing this service, if I add 5 more service to that, then it will be really wonderful. Like devotees will think, okay, how much service I'm doing. No, I'm not doing here to show anyone. It's nothing to show off to anyone, because whatever I'm trying to do, Krishna is saying that. Even if you're going to the temple, there is no one in the temple, and you are doing a service which is very hard, very hard, and but you know that it needs to be done, and you are doing it, and nobody knew about it that you have done the service. But the devotee know that Gaurnitai knows. Gaurnitai is in the heart. Gaurnitai is, they know everything. So don't worry. So we'll just do the service to please the Lord. And as the Lord gets pleased, the Lord will make, if a father sees that his son is doing something which is wonderful, will not that the father will go and tell everyone, look at like my son, how wonderful he is doing. So if a material father can do it, imagine what the Lord will do. But the devotee doesn't seek for all these things. We are Mama Janmane Janmashwari Bhagavad Bhakti Ahituki Tvai. I only want your causeless service, birth after birth. So without anything. So that's why it's important that keep, like, we try to engage in the service without any ulterior motives, without anything that we want to get for ourselves. As soon as that becomes, that whole thing, the dynamics change. And that's why it's very important to remain that to remain the association of the devotees. We should not we should not also cheaply imitate the position, like Narada Muni was doing this, see these exalted devotees, these they did things like that. Like sometimes in Vrindavan or some other place, you see that some people, they try to imitate these things. And one time, like someone came to Srila Prabhupada and said in Mayapur that Srila Prabhupada, this person came here and he's staying in this hut outside the Mayapur. He's not inside the compound, outside, and he's doing 40 rounds or like 50 rounds a day, and he's just staying there. He's doing so much austerity. So Prabhupada said, okay, why don't you ask him to come here, and he can do some service and he can stay here. No, that person just want to be there, and so that people can come and see him, that how much austerity he is doing. Prabhupada said, okay, leave him, leave it to him. And then after some day, they saw that that person is gone. So yeah, those things doesn't work. So that's why this this verse remind us the beauty of the devotional culture, right? So like knowledge that we are getting, it's not dry. It's in a way that it flows, and it transforms devotees, it transforms, so many devotees lives. So that's why when we take this path through the parampara, all this transformation, all this possibility of transformation is also available for us. The question is only that how do we receive it? Do we receive it with distraction, or we receive it with sincerity? The mercy is always there. And that's why this quote from Jayapataka Maharaj is so wonderful, that someone asked him, that it was on an occasion of Nityananda Trayodasi, that Maharaj, how can we receive the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu? And Maharaj looked at him and said, how can you, how can you not receive the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu? There is no way. You can't just do anything that you can escape not getting the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. It's already there, but it's up to us how we can receive it. Should we receive it with distraction, with so many things, or we receive it with sincerity? So that's why this verse has the essence of this verse becomes even more vivid, if we can put, that spiritual authority comes from absorption of Krishna, and such absorption has the power of transform heart of all condition. So if we sincerely hear and pray and try to follow, even in a small way, we can step into this path of that the path has been shown to us, like great souls like Narada Muni. And we can pray. We can always pray for mercy, so that we can follow, and we can take in inspiration from it. So with that, I would like to end here. There are a couple of minutes left. If anyone wants to add any point, or any questions or any correction, please go ahead and you can do it.
Haribol Prabhu, thank you for class. That was
Hari-
really nice. Thank you very much. I guess I'm still thinking about it. It's not really a question, more a comment, I suppose. Just with the idea of the way you were speaking so nicely on Narada Muni, and it became quite clear and really evident that such a personality is having Bhagavan in their heart. And of course that means that they have all good qualities. Now, as disciples of our gurus, we're also we also understand that we can appreciate and value Guru like Bhagavan too. And very much in the same, in the way that you described Narada Muni, just it made it easier for me to understand and appreciate how I can view my Guru in a similar light. And the reason I say that out loud is because previously I've not wanted to. I've always thought it a bit too much, a little bit over the top when you see devotees or hear devotees expressing their love for their guru and putting their guru at such a high level, at such a high status. Now, I appreciate it personally because I have a guru, but I can actually see how outsiders or people who don't understand Krishna consciousness at all would see disciples worshipping their gurus with such fervor, and with such high regard, putting them on a godlike status. You can see to an outsider that would look kind of a bit freaky, a bit over the top. But that's what I'm trying to say is the way you articulated it today, it was so eloquent and so readily understandable, that distinction of the guru being non-different to Bhagavan. I just wish that others would understand that, could appreciate it as easily as I did today, I think, from your class. It was really lovely. That was my comment, Prabhu. Haribol.
Thank you, Mataji. I could relate to that. Like during the time of Srila Prabhupada also, when Srila Prabhupada, where we're going through sometimes, limousine is coming or Rolls Royce is coming to pick him up, and say sometimes some others, they used to make these comments, so being a sannyasi, why you have to go through Rolls Royce and thing. And Prabhupada, and now that's also depends on the audience who is asking, because as we said, it has to be realized soul, realized speaker, and sincere listener also, right? Sometimes if he sees that the listeners who are they don't want to listen anything but just want to put their comment, Prabhupada's point was, no, yes, they should do for their guru, they should even get a chariot of gold, things like that, which actually more intimate them. But Prabhupada also explained that that for a guru, it's not that for guru himself wanting this, but it's mainly for to show that how they should be regarded. Our whole parampara, it's dependent on Guru Shishya parampara, So our day starts with Guru Bandhana. Guru is the main person. Guru is the Kandari who can drive us in this material world, that like the roundabout that we are here, that we are just going round and round and round. Guru is the one who can show us like a GPS. Okay, go this. This is your way. So that's why that's why his position is so high in our life. So again, it has Prabhupada mentioned in the purport that it doesn't say that Guru is the Bhagavan himself. No, none of the gurus, here in ISKCON, they are not claiming that. No, we are not Bhagavan. We're the representative of the Lord. But for us, as a representative of the Lord, we are giving them the respect, that same respect, because they are the one who are here to guide us through this Bhavasagar, the ocean of this ocean of nescience, misery and whatever we can say. So that's why it's very important. Thank you, Mataji, for putting this point.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. So we are 4 minutes over, so we'd like to end here. Thank you all for joining today, and we'll again join tomorrow.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Oh,
Thank you very much for nice class. I just wanted to
Yeah,
and
sure,
that
sure, Mataji. Sorry.
we sing Guru Ashtaka prayer in the morning.
Yeah.
And in the 7th verse it says about Saksha Daritvena Samasta
What's the
Shastre
Shastra? Yeah.
Yuktas Tatha Bhavyateva Sadvi Kintu Prabhor Ya
Yeah.
Priya Ivatasya Bande Guru Shri
Yeah.
Charan Bindu. So we are saying the spiritual master is to be honored as much as the Supreme Lord,
Yeah.
because he's the most confidential servitor of the Lord. So this is acknowledged in all the revealed scriptures. So
Yeah.
that's why we offer that respectful and give that position to the spiritual master as we give it to Supreme Personality of Godhead. Though Guru never says he is supreme,
No.
but this is how we pray. So that's one point we should remember when we also worship our spiritual master, because he is a representative of Supreme Personality. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Mataji. Thank you for a wonderful point. Thank you all. So we will
Hare
again
Krishna,
meet tomorrow.
Prabhu. I had a question, quick one. If you have a second.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, we've always heard that Narad Muni always chanted Narayan, Narayan.
Mm-hmm.
He was always said stories about Narayan, always thought about Narayan. But here the purport says he's thinking about Krishna, chanting Krishna.
Yeah.
So how do you explain?
Well, it's the name of the Lord, like the way that he gets called upon, like Narayan, and then Krishna, and then because we see in the example of Ajamil, where he was, I don't know if you know his pastime in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam.
Mhm.
His
Mhm.
son's name was Narayan, right?
Narayan,
And he
Narayan.
called at the end of the death, like Narayan, Narayan, please come to me. But who came for his rescue? They came
Narayan.
from the Vishnu Duta all came. So it's a name, like we are saying, like it's a if we go through that, okay, Krishna, Balaram, the Chaturbhuja, like all those namings are there, but whom Narada Muni is calling is obviously Krishna. So we see that some connotation, some notation in different places it changed to Narayana. Somewhere it's called Vitthal, somewhere it's the name. But if you go to Pandharpur, then it becomes like a Vitthal day. But in essence, Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. All right, we will again meet tomorrow. Thank you all for joining today. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripasindhave vacha patithanam
Nam Pavane
pavanebhyo
Dev Vaishnav Dev
namo
Anant
अनंत
Koti
कोटि
Vaishnav
वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
Ki
नमः
Jai.
ठाकुर की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
Ki Jai. His
गौर
Grace
प्रेमानंदे
Sumendra Krishna Das Ki Jai.
समस्त गौरव भक्तवृंद की जय। हरे
Hare
कृष्ण।